come true for over 70 years. Always online at crabtreerv.com. And by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education. Dispose of your surplus prescription drugs with no questions asked. Join us for Take Back Day on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find a convenient collection site near you at www.deatakeback.com.
Important aspect of this show and tomorrow's shows here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com is not what happened in the game against South Carolina, an 80-66 loss. It's what's going to happen in the future. It's what's going to happen with Eric Musselman. It's what's going to happen with guys exiting the program, coaches, players. It's what's going to happen with guys entering the program. That is the bigger deal. It's not the fact that they lost and they got pounded in the paint. It's the fact that I'm curious, for the first time in over a decade after a losing season, where this basketball program goes. You thought, at least I did, after the last 3 seasons, that they were guaranteed an NCAA tournament appearance. Instead, we find ourselves sitting here after a 16-17 season with only 1 win in the SEC tournament and heading back from Nashville. Alongside Matt Jones and Big C, I'm Ty Richardson. Matt, we'll start with you. Big C, get on this as well. Is that where your mind initially went? Not the game itself, but what's going to happen with this program moving forward?
Well, there's definitely going to be a lot of change, and always nice to be here with you, Ty. No, not right away. Just thinking about the kids when you're in the moments. But the things have changed. You know, the way the college landscape is, kids don't go to school and you watch them grow for 4 years. They're in and they're out. So yeah, there'll probably be a lot of change. What do you say? Kids fought hard.
Yeah, first half. Second half, they got pounded initially out of the gate. And really, you look at the paint points. We'll get into some of the stats. But again, everyone always loves to reference. I think everyone can remember when Larry Johnson told Nolan Richardson, you got to go get some men. This basketball team next season, you lose all your front court players. You lose Jalen Graham. You lose Mekhi Mitchell, who Mekhi had really a second half of the season to remember. And then you also lose Chandler Lawson. Those are your 3 main pieces. We'll see what Bayfall and the coaching staff decide to do with his career. So many different things need to factor in to Eric Musselman's decision this next season. But Matt, it was a game in the first where you just couldn't hit a shot. You were hitting in the first half, but this is a team in South Carolina that just put the clamps down defensively at multiple points this season and did it to you once again in the second half, the next 20 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, the better team won. That's for sure. Mekhi Mitchell is going to be tough to replace. I thought he was the most improved player on this team all year. He just kept getting it done. Yeah, I mean, we got smaller than last year's team. You know, if you're thinking back to the Ricky Council, Jordan Walsh, Anthony Black, that crew. Yeah, so you're going to have to get out there in the portal and get to work, because what I noticed this year, when you line up our guys against the other teams' guys, we don't have a lot of guys that are going to go start for any of those teams that finish the season in the top 6.
Yeah, I think it's tough because you look back at the SEC season, Matt, and Duke's a good basketball team. I will give that win. But you didn't get a single good SEC win. I don't qualify Texas A&M as a good basketball team, to be perfectly honest. I don't expect much of them here in Nashville. I think that this would have been your first good SEC win of the season, and you came up short. But what do you think? Again, our McLarty Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963 if you want to jump in here with myself, Matt Jones, and also Big C. And Christian, your initial thoughts on not just the loss today, but where maybe your mind went directly after the game ended.
Well, I can't say that the feeling wasn't familiar. I mean, it just so happens this game ends your season, but I kind of felt like all season this wasn't a tournament team, and there wasn't going to be a dramatic change. I was hoping that we could see some sort of a run in the SEC tournament, but it just didn't happen. I'm just kind of ready to put this year behind us, and hopefully it's kind of like football. It's just one of those off years, and it's not something bigger. With the way NIL and stuff has changed the game, college football and basketball, it's going to be interesting to see how coaches for football and basketball, but since we're talking about basketball now, Musselman's kind of got a I don't know if it's a different challenge, but it is a challenge for him, and it'll be interesting to see how he builds a roster for next year, or if he's even here next year. Who knows?
Well, to your point, basketball can bounce back quicker. That's because there's only 5 players that play on a court at any given time. 1 or 2 guys can have a much greater impact than a football team, where you have to have a lot more than just 1 or 2 dudes. And I think this next season, people are going to wonder if they're going to put together a team like we've saw the previous 3 years, or if the team's going to be more like this one. I would expect, based on Eric Musselman's comments that he's made numerous times on his own show this season, that it's going to be more like a team that he's had the previous 3 years in terms of the size, the length, and your buzzword, Matt, is athleticism. And they just didn't have enough of that this year.
Muss is one of the best in the country at evaluating talent and going and getting portal guys and assembling a team. I have no doubt that Coach Muss get to work. They're probably already working on it. If you're looking at what I was looking at, they better have been working on it. So I think they'll be back next year, man. I think it's just this is the anomaly year, and wouldn't surprise me if they made the tournament again, another 3-year run.
Cody wants him to go grab a point guard, another addition that he's hoping for. He sends that on our YouTube channel. And by the way, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X, Twitch, and also Instagram if you want to watch Matt, myself, and Big C. And then also hitthatline.com or Hit That Line app, and all over ESPN Arkansas, as Ruskin and Zach are getting the quote-unquote day off today. And I think, again, when we talk about adding players out of the transfer portal, it hasn't worked for every single coach that they hit every single year. I don't think any of us expected it to be this bad, but Matt, I tend to agree with you. Muss has a track record of evaluating talent, him and his coaching staff, and figuring out what pieces they need and then seeking it up at the tail end of the season. So while we have no idea what this roster will look like next year based on the additions and based on the subtractions, I think Arkansas this isn't like football. I think there's a lot less optimism about football this next season than there will be basketball. And I guess that's contingent on based on who they add. But do you feel that same way, that people feel like they'll be a better basketball team next year? And I guess depends on who they add before maybe they put football in front of that.
Yeah, this state produces a lot of in-state talent. You look at the NBA right now; it's littered with guys from the state of Arkansas or guys that have played at the university. So, you can build a winning team having some guys from your backyard, and then where Muss has been all over the country, he has relationships and contacts. You think of Ronnie Brewer, an NBA guy, all the contacts he has. Keith Smart as well. You wonder if some of the assistant coaches are still going to be there. You wonder if some of the recruiter guys, there's going to be some change happen.
Yep. And you mentioned 2 of the more prominent assistants of this basketball team, a national champion and an Arkansas guy through and through, a legacy. What that not just roster looks like, but the coaching staff looks like. Again, a lot of questions, not a lot of answers, but we are doing our best to unlock what we think could happen in the next week or so after this game. Your thoughts again on an 80-66 loss to the South Carolina Gamecocks. It is Hog Reaction. Again, we're presented by our friends at Crabtree RV Center and North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education, as we're live in Bridgestone Arena. Got a lot more to get to coming up.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard term conditions and other restrictions apply.
KC Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. or call 517-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Are you interested in saving money on your heating bills and upgrading your home's energy efficiency? Now's the time. Installing or upgrading to natural gas allows you to take advantage of high-efficiency appliances that save energy and money. From furnaces to water heaters to gas dryers and fireplaces, there's a natural gas option to fit your home and your budget. What's not to love about that? Don't wait. Call AOG today at 800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Hog Reaction.
Underneath Mitchell, Ellis is open in the corner, three-pointer good.
Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
And we welcome you back to Hog Reaction here live from the Bridgestone Arena as we continue on. Arkansas has finished their season at 16-17, and we're having to do our best to get through it this afternoon / tonight. Got plenty of responses thus far via on X, YouTube, and others. This is from Hunter on X. He said, Musk's demeanor on the sidelines in the second half of the year has been alarming. He still got animated today, Hunter. Do you want him to get more animated? I don't know about that. David wants to know if Musk will be back next year. I have no idea. I hope so. I think if he comes back, they're going to be much better. Donna thinks that she also replies on X that Musk is going to go get some bigs next year. Matt, I want to ask you again. You played in a different time, but when these players are speculating their future, how much do you think potentially keeping some guys here keeps other guys here? Like, does that play a part of if a guy stays or goes on a teammate that he may like or dislike?
You mean like if the players, do they talk about it?
Yeah, in the sense of, like, let's say Caleb and Tremont want to play with each other next year. And I'm speculating. I have no idea. I don't know them personally. I don't have conversations with them. I mean, do you think that in their minds plays on the idea if they're going to come back or stay next year?
Yeah, I think team chemistry, how the locker room works, that has something to do with it. I did play in a different time. I always wanted to play with the best players. So if you're good and can play, man, come on. And so I don't know their chemistry as far as they like each other. You have to think that that all those kids talk, that they're all talking, they're all constantly communicating. And of course you want to go play with your buddy.
Yeah, it is going to be a part of the equation, how this season, this off season, I want to rephrase, this off season shakes out on how many guys stay. You think about El Ellis is out of eligibility. Chandler Lawson is out of eligibility. You've got all your front court players again, Makai Mitchell, Jalen Graham. Doesn't sound like Devontae Davis is coming back based on him walking at senior days. Is that a fair assumption on my part, Matt, to expect that Devo's not going to be back next year?
Man, I'm a Devo fan. That's for sure. I don't know. Kids, it's a different landscape. Kids still have eligibility. But there's something, I know if you graduate, you get a transfer. He hasn't transferred yet, so I think he still has a free transfer. I'm a Devo fan. I'd like for him to stay and be around. I think he's an elite defender. I think the better the environment, the better the competition, the better he'll play. But yeah, there's going to have to be some changes. It was Coach Musk's, what was his first ever losing record. Ty, we got to get somebody that can shoot some threes, man. It's ridiculous. If you think about the last couple of years, our outside shooting has just been abysmal. It's how can you not space the floor? Stan Van Gundy even said that last year in the tournament. He's like, when they don't have to close out on you because they're not afraid of you shooting the ball, it's hard to get easy baskets. And that's what this team did. Last year, you had better athletes, but the same thing with this team. Nobody has to close out anybody but Brazil a little bit.
Yeah, and I was surprised that certain players that you expected to be scorers or a huge part, and it just took a little while. It was Tremont Mark at first, and it was Caleb Battle. I think a lot more people expected El Ellis to really fit that natural point guard role, and there were times he did. There were games he was very good. But there were other games that kind of left you puzzled how he was successful in terms of offense, but it just didn't work out here consistently. And now he's done with college basketball and some of those other players that I mentioned too. B in Clarksville texting in on the McCarty Daniel hotline, which you can do so at 877-377-6963, talking about Eric Musselman's future. He says with the daughter that's established in school, he doesn't expect Musk to leave or Danielle or Mariah leaving. He expects the coach to return next year unless crazy money is thrown his way. And this is where it's difficult for us to fully have an opinion because we don't know 1,000% what Arkansas's NIL situation is and how much, if there's less, if there's more comparatively to other SEC schools, what other schools could be potentially offering. Not that $4 million isn't good money to be making as a college basketball coach, Matt, but you just nowadays, not the players, but the coaches want to know, it's like, how much money do I have to get players to campus, get good players to campus?
Well, it can be done in basketball. Look at South Carolina. You telling me South Carolina spends more than Arkansas?
That's a good point. Great point.
You got to evaluate and get the right guys in here. Who had Dalton Connect on their radar last year? I'm telling you, the kid I saw play down in the Bahamas from Memphis, Jones. He was the best kid I'd seen for a little bit playing. I think he played for Mike Anderson. I think that's what Coach Z was saying. He was a stud. There's guys out there at these schools if you'll evaluate and go get them.
Yeah, and you mentioned South Carolina. I was really impressed not just watching him against Arkansas, but Colin Murray Boyles. And Matt, you play with a guy or two like this that gets to campus, and even though he has the title as a freshman, guy doesn't look like a freshman. I mean, Murray Boyles today, 11 for 15. 24 points, 7 rebounds, and he also had 4 steals to go along with his stat line. He was outstanding. And here's a kid that runs probably 6'9", 6'10", doesn't look like a freshman at all. And he's been, not only is he an all-SEC freshman, but he's been a guy that they've counted on time and time and again this year. In their biggest game of the season, not because Arkansas is the opponent, but because it's postseason, he didn't act like a freshman today.
No, we didn't have an answer for him. He was a beast all day. I thought Mac, he's kind of, man, he's their dude. He was banging with Makai Mitchell on one end, stops him getting an easy bunny because Makai's dominating. I mean, doing his thing. He was 7 of 11, and then goes down the other end, floats around, spaces the floor out, and then they dish right to him, and he just has a pure jump shot. He's a player right there, man. I like Matt.
He is outstanding. 19 points, 5 of 9 for the field, hitting all 7 of his free throws. Chuck said it best. He called him a bull, and that's the best way to describe. I mean, there were times where he would get matched up on a guard or get matched up even on a more slender Chandler Lawson or slender, and just take him to the paint. And when you look at the box score, it's not one you want to remember consistently with the amount of points that they just dominated the paint. That was one. I don't know if it's the most paint points that Arkansas has given up this season, but it's definitely near the top of the list, the way that South Carolina just did it over and over and over again. Again, our McCarty Daniel hotline's open, 877-377-6963. Via call, via text. That's where Ben in Fayetteville is. He said, why didn't Musk come out and address the radio listening audience? The whole season blames others for problems and losses. So he didn't do the interview yesterday. I could be wrong on this, and this is probably a better question for Chuck or Z, but I think he has other TV/national radio obligations. That's why Todd Lee did it back-to-back days. I could be wrong on that, Ben, but I believe that is correct. Don't hold me 100% to that, but I think that's right. All right, let's take our first call of the night. It goes to Brian in Ozark. What's up, Brian?
Hey, man, even though Arkansas played a good game, it's all about wins and losses. And they say this isn't. I got a comment. It's not from just me. It's from me and everybody I know that's a Razorback fan, and everybody's glad that season's over. These guys just were horrible. Glad it's over. Anyways, y'all have a great day.
Well, that was a worthless call, Brian. I thought you were going to give substance. Everyone, yeah, that's. I think that's pretty just common sense. The majority of people out there are glad the season's over. They're ready to move on. They're ready to talk about this baseball team that's got an SEC opponent in here this weekend, that they're ranked number 1 in the country right now. You've got the players this weekend, which I don't love watching golf, but that's something that and Matt, didn't you mention there's a big soccer game or something this weekend too that you're going to watch?
Oh, every weekend, man. Soccer's always hip. They got Champions Leagues going on a little bit right now. Saturday, you have you get Fulham and Tottenham. That'll be a good one. Sunday, West Ham and Aston Villa. You got the FA Cup going. Yeah, it'll be good, man. Might even hit the links a little bit after this storm comes through. I know you're coming back. As soon as you get back, the storm should be gone, and I'm sure you'll be out there hitting the links as well.
The plan is to play golf on Saturday. We'll see if we can get it in. The plan was also to try and play tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. JT in Hot Springs says Brian and Ozark can get out of Arkansas and head back to Texas. Yeah, I have no idea, JT, why he lives here. He just calls in to troll at this point. I thought there was going to be at least a question in there, but it was just a statement that everyone recognized, and it was probably just a waste of 20 seconds. All right, let's see. This is a message from Aaron on YouTube. He said, to believe that Musselman has some sort of loyalty or attachment to Arkansas is moronic. He thinks it's a business relationship and nothing more. He will move his daughter to another school in a heartbeat if an opportunity presents itself. One of the things I want to know, and I don't because I'm not a college basketball coach and I'm not making that top tier money and I don't have all these sources and facility. I know they play in like the KFC Yum Center, I think it is. But Matt, just on the surface, I know they won a national championship more recently than Arkansas. On the surface, is Louisville a better job than Arkansas, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's the ACC. If I'm a coach, I want to be in the SEC or the Big Ten. That's where I want to go to. If you're going to do this college thing, I think those are the two power conferences. I don't know what the state of the college landscape is going to look like in 5-10 years. I think it would be a lateral move, but I think if maybe you have more NIL money, I think it's pretty even, but if you had 50% more NIL money at Louisville, then it would be a better job. But so I don't, that's the other thing. They're not very transparent with the NIL money.
There's reports out there that assistant coach Nolan Smith, who's a former Duke Blue Devil, was almost sabotaging. Why am I blanking on the Louisville? Kenny Payne was sabotaging his job because he thought he was going to be given the job in January. Okay, these are according to a report. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it seems like Louisville might be toxic. But then some people might view Arkansas job as toxic. And I again, what Musselman has done is shown that this job, and I think, again, we're just getting text about this. This is not me saying that Eric Musselman is moving on from Arkansas, but a lot of people want to know what's going to happen after this season moving forward with the basketball program. And what Muss has done these last few years has shown that Arkansas is the second best job in the SEC. It's the second best job in the SEC behind Kentucky in basketball. And if he decides that it's better for him and his family to move elsewhere, and again, there's no concrete evidence of that whatsoever, it's more of a fan thought, then this job is going to attract some names that you might be surprised that have interest with this basketball program. All right, we're going to take a short break. Again, we're live. It's Hog Reaction presented by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and Crabtree RV Center from Bridgestone Arena. More with Matt Jones and Big C coming up.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
This year, upgrade your home to safe, convenient, and energy-efficient natural gas from Arkansas Oklahoma Gas. Skip the prepayments and delivery issues, and enjoy the peace of mind knowing that your natural gas is always there when you need it. And we can help make converting your home easy and affordable too. For heating, hot water, cooking, and more, it's time to upgrade to safe, reliable, and energy-efficient natural gas. Visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, Energy for Life.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
This is Hog Reaction.
Underneath Mitchell, Ellis is open in the corner, three-pointer good.
Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
So you're picked preseason third in the SEC. Not only did you finish with a losing record in conference, you finished with a losing record overall. This is not the season that anyone anticipated with this basketball program, and I expect Eric Musselman to do his best to kind of resurrect that of sorts and get this thing turned around. Again, Hog Reaction, myself, Matt Jones, Christian Johnson here. You probably at about 6:30 or so, as long as we keep getting some calls and texts via the McCarty Daniel hotline. This is a YouTube message. We had a rough year, but it will get better. He personally believes that losing Gus Argenal, I think Coach Argenal had like a 23-24 win season. It was a big loss and way more of an impact than they expected. Matt, I wonder if they'll try and get, so you've got there's nothing wrong with being young, but that staff is pretty young. Could you see them going out and getting maybe an older assistant coach or two if there's a shakeup with that coaching staff?
That's interesting. You know, the coaches, I like the staff up there. I think the thing is evaluating talent. I said that after the Auburn game. I know they were picked third, and I think it was Rustin doing one of these shows. And we, you know, I'd preseason. I had Arkansas going 12-6, and thought, yeah, man, they'll 12-6. And then when I saw them play the Auburn game, I said 6-12, and the reason was because there's a lack of talent up there. I mean, it's clear, it's obvious. You have to go out there and get some talent. I mean, it's just what the coaching staff. I don't know that needs to be changed. It's just evaluating talent and getting the right pieces in.
Yeah, and talent is going to be pretty prevalent in the portal. It's about not just getting the guys that can play, but guys that can mesh this next year. Because I think this team has some talent. They just unfortunately didn't mesh like people wanted and expected them to. Cajun texting in on the McCarty Daniel hotline. Muss is going to Lane Kiffin this and use Louisville to get a nice raise from us. Sean in Cedarville believes that Louisville is a basketball school and a better job than Arkansas. I'm curious the different texters and callers that we get on the shows tomorrow, what their opinion about, because that seems to be just the popular fan take is Muss is going to Louisville. Again, there doesn't seem to be any tangible traction at this point. You've got college basketball panelists that are speculating. You've got fans that are speculating. Got no idea. Muss might not even have considered that job. It's just a name out there that is maybe trying to get some more money from his agent. I couldn't even tell you who represents Muss, but something to always think about when you hear someone's name in a coaching search. That does not mean whatsoever that they are in that coaching search or they want to be in that coaching search. Matt, what did you think about them not really playing the young guys down the stretch? I saw some comments about like Layden Blocker, for example. I think he's had a number of consecutive games that he has not played. We didn't see much of Joseph Pinion. We didn't really see any of Bayfall this season. I mean, that's a sophomore and 2 freshmen, 2 guys you brought in. That one was a McDonald's All-American. I think the other was what's the word I'm looking for? Not an All-American, but the honorable mention. Didn't really see him play this year. Is that factor into maybe their decision in moving forward with Arkansas basketball?
Yeah, I wonder. I bet playing time does factor. You know, they say money factors into most of it, but I bet playing time does. I don't. That's hard to say, Ty, because the team was playing its best basketball in its last 6-7 games. So I think everybody had plenty of opportunities and plenty of chances. And I think if Layden wanted to play more, he should have done better earlier. You know, I'm the biggest Layden Blocker fan, but I think Coach was. I mean, dude, we had how many different starting lineups? Coach was giving everybody an opportunity to get it done, and this was the group he settled on, and that's the group that earned the right to go out there and compete.
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it when it comes to, because again, like you said, Matt, they had a bunch of different starting lineups. It's not like they didn't test out various things, and this is kind of the one down the stretch they rolled with. I think 9 or 10 guys played today, but typically it's been that 7 or 8 man stretch that he's gone in. Now, a lot of that was due to injury. He had a suspension for Keon Minifield, who stayed home due to academics. Curious his timeline for what he plans to do, whether it's stay at Arkansas or move forward. I mean, you've got guys that are departing because they're no longer eligible. Could you see like 11 guys not here next year? I mean, that's a huge number to have to go out and get 11 new dudes. I mean, is that even like conceivable that we could be headed for that big of a transfer portal cycle?
Ty, I have no idea. I know this. If I got to choose 3, let's say you got to choose 3 guys that you're like, all right, I want to build around these 3 guys. I know Brazil would be one of them. I know Tremont Mark would be the other. Mm-hmm. And then I think I would go Devontae Davis for one more year. I mean, I think 4th would be Khalif Battle. That's where that would be my 4th guy. And then your 5th would be a Layden Blocker. That might be the 5 that I say off this roster. You're like, yeah, let's start something with those guys and see what you got. Khalif, I mean, what do you have? 20 points in 6 straight games. You know he can score. But he's he's not a point guard. We got to get a point guard when it's all said and done. So then how does he get the ball in the offense? You know, can he play enough defense? If you bring a point guard in that can't, he's really not a defensive guy. You know, you're trying to assemble a team the right way. I don't know who they're going to get in there, but I'll tell you this. I think Mark is the best player on the team, and I don't even think it's close. So that would be my first pick. And then I think Brazil has the most upside. Is the NBA guy. So that would be my second pick.
Khalif Battle is going to be a hot commodity if he enters the transfer portal. Even if he doesn't enter, I think that he is going to get text. I think he's going to get calls. I think that people are going to reach out with him and wonder what it could potentially take to get him to their campus based on the way he played down the stretch. A kid that had, and I don't think he ended, I don't have the box score in front of me right now. I don't believe he ended with 20-plus points today. But prior to the day, no, he actually did. He had 20 points, 7 of 12 from the field goal, and then also 5 of 5 from the line. So that's his 7th straight game with 20 or more points. And college coaches, not just in the SEC, but across the sport, see that. Now, Caleb has said publicly in 2 different places, it sounds like he's pretty adamant on the Ride Along show, with Noah Washington, who does a show reviewing student athletes and various other figures. And also he's talking with Bob Holt about it in the post-game presser, saying, I'm a Razorback. That's and I'm paraphrasing on saying he wanted to finish out here on the show before. But things can change. We know at the drop of the hat, something can happen. There doesn't seem to be any penalty whatsoever regarding the talking, the meddling, and the tampering within college sports. I saw that the Eagles and there was another NFL team that were being looked at for tampering with like Saquon Barkley and Kirk Cousins, but there doesn't seem to be any following through in this cheating, Matt. And I just wonder how rampant it is right now in college basketball specifically.
Yeah, I wonder what his price tag is the truth. I wonder, so how much does Battle cost? And then what is these range of what are the range of these players? You know, how much do these players cost to, you almost have to know what your salary cap is and what's the market. There needs to be more transparency on this, because how do we know what he's worth, what he's getting paid, and then what somebody else is going to offer him? I have no idea.
Yeah, and there's not a great evaluation tool of, hey, this guy is worth this amount of money, or this is what this guy is making. We have no earthly idea at all.
Because, how much is Arkansas's NIL? How much % of that would Battle cost?
Or even basketball. How much do you have in basketball?
That's
Matt?
what I mean, yeah.
All right, let's take a call. This is Kerry in Tulsa on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Kerry, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, I just want to say to all the Razorback fans out there that are worried about Musk leaving, if you think about the last 3 seasons, not counting this season, I mean, he's had really good seasons. He knows he can win here. Fayetteville's a far better place to live than Louisville or any place else, in my opinion, in the country. So I think we just need to back up on that and just, let him play his game. He had a miss this year with the transfer portal. I think he's going to have to hit the transfer portal, find a point guard that can play defense. And I noticed something from the OU game back in the BOK over here in Tulsa, and it's kind of been a reoccurring theme. They had a big guy over there at OU that just pushed our big guys around and did what he wanted. It seemed like we had a little bit of that today. I think we're going to have to go get a big guy that can push back a little bit. Not saying that our big guys maybe can't develop to that, but I just don't feel like they're as aggressive as some of these others that we're facing.
Kerry, we appreciate the call. You don't just need one big guy. I mean, you're losing your entire front court. So that is going to have to be an area that Eric Musselman and his staff really, really push and really evaluate. It's a guard-driven sport nowadays. It's no longer the days of Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing and Shaq and Wilt and some of the other great NBA centers. Like, you still occasionally have a big man or two that is very, very important, but it starts with guard play. And you were talking about Tremont Mark earlier. He'd love to have him back on the basketball team, see him improve, see him get to it a little bit, but you're going to have to go get a point guard too. And this team did not have that this year. You think about the first 4 years under Muss, I'd say Jimmy Witt was not a bad college point guard. He was a fifth-year senior. Felt like that he did some really good things. Jalen Tate. Love Jalen Tate. Kind of unorthodox at 6'6", but had the respect of that locker room. Then you move on to J.D. Notte, then Anthony Black. I mean, that's not just NBA talent, that's professional talent there, Matt. And then you just had this year where it was a hodgepodge, thrown together group. That might be I would say maybe the most, not that the big man isn't important, Kerry, because Arkansas desperately needs a couple, but that might be the most important add out of the portal, is just getting that rock solid point guard.
Yeah, however we talk about it, we're saying the same thing with just using different words. You got to have more talent. You got to have better talent. There's just top to bottom. We were not very talented this year, and it showed.
All right, we're going to take another break here on Hog Reaction. Our number, like you want to jump in like Kerry or like Brian and Ozark did earlier in the dumbest way possible, do so 877-377-6963. It's Hog Reaction presented by Crabtree RV Center and North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
KC Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., or call 870-510 417-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard term conditions and other restrictions apply.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches, and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
This is Hog Reaction.
Underneath Mitchell, Ellis is open in the corner, three-pointer good.
Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
Not a bad text from Roger. from the 501 saying that with Jerry Stackhouse reportedly parting ways with Vanderbilt, or Vanderbilt parting ways, with Jerry Stackhouse, according to ESPN. What about going to get the Magnon kid? Matt, he wouldn't be a bad point guard to have on this roster.
Yeah, I wonder how much he costs. He's a little stud, isn't he? He was fun to watch.
He could play a little bit. So for those that don't know, again, Jerry Stackhouse and Vanderbilt, evidently, according to ESPN, have parted ways. We'll see if that has been – I don't think that's been confirmed. I was watching the game. I checked up on social media. Let's see. The other one, Mike Boyden, apparently in Oklahoma State, according to John Rothstein, have parted ways. So you'll start to see, again, conference tournaments still in the midst. Coaches will lose, and you'll see a flurry of college basketball news, not just with coaches, but also guys entering the portal and where they could potentially go, or at least speculation on where they could potentially go with this thing. All right, we're gonna hear from Eric Musselman coming up in just a sec, but I first want to hear from Todd Lee, one of the assistants. He was pretty blunt post camp about, hey, not much time off. We got to get to work.
There's work to do when we get back to the hotel.
To the hotel, guys. Big C, Matt. They're not even making it back to Fayetteville before they get going. And Eric Musselman, of course, disappointed with how the season ended. Everyone, I think, is disappointed with how the season ended. We got a comment here on YouTube saying, thank the Lord it's over. Don't really know what the deal was. Don't care. Move on and try again. He hopes Eric Musselman stays. Do you think 90+% of Razorback fans still feel that way, Matt, that they want Muss to stay? Do you think that number's grown, that they maybe need to change? I tend to think it's like 98, 99%, but maybe I don't have a good read on the situation.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's you can't please everybody. I know that. Just as a basketball fan and as a basketball person, and the way Coach Muss goes about it, I like him. I think he coaches the kids hard. I think he cares, and I think it shows. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, Ty, it's hard to please everybody. So I'm sure there's some out there that don't. But I mean, the resume speaks for itself. I mean, he's a winner.
Yeah, and this is just the anomaly year that I think people are hoping it is nothing more than that. And I've mentioned this. I'll mention this again. 3 years ago, both the Kentucky Wildcats and the Auburn Tigers did not make the NCAA tournament. So even quality coaches like Bruce Pearl and John Calipari will miss the tournament from time to time. All right, let's hear from Muss just a little bit. Here was his opening statement after the game following the loss to South Carolina.
Just give South Carolina a ton of credit. Defensively, they were really good. Start of the second half, the 8-0 run, probably too much to overcome tonight. We had 4 free throws attempted through about 30 some minutes of play. And just like fast break teams, got to get out and run in transition. 3-point shooting teams need to knock down threes. We didn't get to zone one enough and draw free throws attempted. We're second in the country in free throws attempted. We're second in the country in free throws made. And, that wasn't the case tonight. South Carolina's a great defensive team. And, we tried not to settle for threes, which we only took 13. But the turnovers, 14 turnovers, a lot to overcome. The field goal percentage for us, 53 one half, 50 in another. You think you're right there, 52% for the game. Difference for us offensively was like I mentioned, the inability for us to draw fouls tonight.
And you think about that game, guys, I thought it was about as physical of college basketball game I've seen in a while. Maybe it's just because I'm sitting a little closer than I usually am. But did you guys, and Big C, you can jump on this too. Matt, did you feel like it was they were letting the guys play early? Because that's sure what it felt like to me.
I thought so. I thought, South Carolina's pretty good at defending without fouling as well. The way they're able to switch a lot of things. I think you got to give credit to the style of defense they play. Yeah. But I like it. I like to let the teams play. And usually when you let the teams play, the bigger, stronger, faster team wins. And the South Carolina just made more winning plays tonight.
They are the better basketball team. There's no question about that. And Arkansas, unfortunately, has not been a good to great SEC team this season. Had an opportunity tonight.
No post defense either.
Yeah, and Christian, that's a good point. I mean, you think about Mac, and I mentioned Murray Boyles earlier. There was and Gray. He got some dunks late, but what was it? 50-something points in the paint that you ended up giving up tonight. Is that what it was, Christian?
Yeah, it was a crazy number. I mean, I'll make sure.
It was one of the worst that you've seen from this team. And some of those were when they were pressing, and it was just the game was out of hand at that point. And,
52.
Okay, 52. Yeah, I thought it was 50 plus. 52 points in the paint tonight. I don't know how much of those were first half to second half. Either way, that is not a recipe for success. And you also gave up you had 34 bench points, but you have 52 points in the paint. And they were 7 of 8 on dunks. I know Chandler Lawson missed that dunk at the beginning of the game, but for South Carolina, not much resistance from the Arkansas Razorbacks tonight defensively, and that really, really was shown in that category. The points in the paint. All right, another break here on Hog Reaction. Again, our Clardy Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963. More Hog Reaction coming up with Matt Jones, Big C, and Ty Richardson.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
KC Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., or call 870-517-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas and Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Let the madness begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling. Make sure to join them for all your favorite games and enjoy specials like the game winner, your choice of pizza, 20 wings, and a pitcher of domestic beer for only $40. Or the three-pointer, your choice of pizza, 10 wings, and a pitcher of domestic beer for only $30. Or $10 buckets of beer. Join the mayhem at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith. Come for the food, but stay for the fun.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep West Arc Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
West Arc Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
A lot of batters have been striking out lately. Don't do that. Hit a home run with Wheeler Power Sports and the Slingshot by Polaris. They're going to make a donation to charity for every strikeout by our favorite college baseball team for the month of March and for every new Slingshot sold by Wheeler Power Sports. So join the fun and get out on the open road on a new or pre-owned Polaris Slingshot. Check them out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see them at 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Hog Reaction.
Underneath Mitchell, Ellis is open in the corner, three-pointer good.
Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
All right, back here on Hog Reaction live from Bridgestone Arena, and you heard those two sponsors there. This trip would not have been possible without our friends at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They are family-owned and operated and been making your family dreams come true for over 70 years. Always online at CrabtreeRV.com. And by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education. Whether you have expired or unused prescription medications, they both pose a public safety risk. So help protect people in your area by participating in Take Back Day on April the 27th. Find a convenient collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. That's DEATakeback.com. Also brought to you in part by Mid-South Land Homes and Broadway Motors. So, guys, what's the appetite the rest of the weekend? I mean, we got a couple games tonight. We got a couple games that will be ahead of us on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I mean, is the SEC tournament still appealing to you two, or is it, Hogs lost, I'm ready for baseball?
Not at all.
Not at all. C unit.
Well, I mean, the March Madness maybe.
Yeah.
When it gets kind of down to the 16 teams.
But SEC tournament, you're done, Big C.
Yeah, I mean, it just took a lot. It takes a lot out of you not having the season you want. And, you know, if Arkansas was in the big dance, I'd probably watch some of it. But it's just not appealing to me.
Unfortunately for Zach Arns and Derek Ruskin, they have to do a show tomorrow. They were planning on not having to do the show tomorrow because it would have been set up as is. But with Arkansas losing, we will be back to our regular scheduled programming tomorrow with Morning Rush, halftime, and Ruskin and Zach. It's appealing to me, but I'll watch the games tonight. I'm not going to stay here. I've got to get some stuff done as we leave here. But I'm gonna come up tomorrow and watch a few of the games, and then maybe a little bit on Saturday. Wait and see. The SEC, it's just basketball is just more entertaining now, and it's a bummer because your team again isn't going dancing. They're not even going to the NIT. This is the worst season you had statistically in 10 plus years, and yet the SEC is having a decent season. I think they had 8 tournament teams last year, but they have, I think, 2 better teams than maybe they had last season in Kentucky and Tennessee, who both look like they have Final Four potential. Kentucky doing it a little younger, Tennessee doing it a little older with some of those guys. Matt, if you had to pinpoint a team right now to win the SEC tournament, who are you rocking with?
Man, earlier before I get to that, earlier we were talking about Arkansas. We got to get back to having guys that can get stops on the defensive end. If anything, if what you do first is you have to get athletes that can play defense, because you see what happens. I know the year before we struggled to shoot, but if you can't stop anybody, it's not going to happen. It's like not having any speed on the football team. You got to have speed, or you're not going to win in the SEC. I've been Tennessee. I was on Florida for a little bit. I thought Florida had some talent, definitely on the wings, definitely on the bigs. They have some athletes, but their guards are fugazis, man. They can shoot it. You put a little pressure on them, they fold like a cheap tent. So I can't go Florida. I like your boy Sears at Alabama. He's decent. They probably, I mean, they could do something. Kentucky, they're the most athletic team, no question about it. Can they get stops? I don't know when it gets down to it, but then they go into Tennessee and win. You wonder how focused Tennessee was for that game. They'd already had locked up the SEC regular season title. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stay with Tennessee. I got Tennessee cutting down the nets.
I didn't want to be too high on South Carolina just because they were playing Arkansas, but I'm kind of on their bandwagon.
You like South Carolina?
They're just real physical, man. They're physical down low, and they're not. I mean, all these other teams, Tennessee, Kentucky, they can score, but so South Carolina can defend, and they've got some shooters too. I think they're in good shape to win this thing.
I think I agree with Christian, and I also don't have any ill will towards South Carolina. If I'm going to cheer for a team in this tournament, it's going to be South Carolina the rest of the way. I like what Lamont Paris has done in year two, as bad as they were a year ago. I mean, there's not a player on their team you just hate that drives you insane. Meechie Johnson's a good guard. He didn't even have a great game today. I mean, you look at his stat line, he was 3 for 10, then hit a three-pointer. And yet South Carolina beat you by 14 because they've got B.J. Mack, who gives them 19. They've got Colin Murray Boyles, who gives them 24. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces. Studi just went 1 for 3 for 3 points. Taylor Cooper made some big shots. So they, again, have a lot of different guys that can step up. And unfortunately, you got the wrath of a true freshman that's having an outstanding season. So I'll jump on the board with you, Big C. I like the idea that South Carolina can make a run. They get Auburn tomorrow. That will be you talk about a physical game, Matt Jones. You got Broome, and I can't remember if Jalen Williams is back or not, but those two front courts, Dylan Cardwell going at each other. I mean, that's going to be a battle down low.
Yeah, Auburn's a real basketball team. That's as good as an SEC team as you can get. They can beat anybody. They got some guys that can shoot it. They got some good inside outside game. They got athletes on the wings. You can't. I wouldn't discount Auburn with anybody this year, Ty. I like Auburn probably about as much as Big C like South Carolina. I like Auburn a little better than South Carolina, but they're close.
Bruce Pearl was sitting with his assistant scouting the first half of the Arkansas and South Carolina earlier. His son's on the coaching staff. Corey Williams, former Razorback, is also on there too. They left at halftime. I think they saw what they needed to see. But that was a back and forth. I mean, first half, guys, had 13 lead changes and 4 ties. That's about as competitive a first half that we've seen in the SEC tournament, back and forth. But when you give up 10 points to start the quarter and Meechie Johnson makes a layup at the horn, I mean, you're just not going to recover from that. Matt, what did we keep saying last night on this program is you can't have these long, drawn-out stretches where you don't score. Well, they did that, and they fell into that trap. They're like, I'm going to be honest, they're lucky it was only a 14-point game because I thought Carolina was going to stretch it to 20 or 25 at one point.
Yeah, Carolina, they're still a little limited. No question about that. They have some age on them, some beef on them. It comes down to getting stops. Arkansas just could not get stops. When you get stops, it leads to fast break points. It leads to easy buckets. This team struggled to get easy buckets and struggled to get stops when it mattered.
Yeah, defensively, you kind of alluded to it earlier, is Muss has got a 5, and he's got a kid, 2 kids coming in this next year, freshmen. One's 6'5", one's 6'8". And it's kind of that prototype Musselman. He loves these like tall wings, the lanky wings that can defend multiple positions. They haven't, again, had a great track record of finding guys that could shoot. And I know they're not exactly just out there willy-nilly, but Matt, that's an area. I mean, we've talked about the point guard position. We've talked about them adding a couple front court players, but I would expect them to add a handful of wings as well that really fit that Eric Musselman mold come this offseason.
Yeah, and when you have guys like that, it allows you to switch without getting mismatched, without getting a guard on a big, even the same way, getting outside, getting a big on a guard. When you have 6'7", 6'8", you got a couple of guys like that. It helps you on the defensive end.
Yeah, and they need help based on this season. They haven't really needed help the last few years, the way they played defense. But again, this season was about as odd as it gets when it comes to Arkansas basketball and what you thought and then what you kind of expected. And Eric Musselman, again, has spoken to the media already, Caleb Battle and some of the other guys. Let's go back and listen to one of the questions that were asked in the press conference and what was said, what Musselman's response was to some of the things he was asked earlier today.
Coach Musselman, raise your hand, and we'll get a remote mic to you. We'll start right on the front row.
Yeah, Eric, you guys were pretty much trading baskets most of the first half. I think you're up 35-32. Then they went on, I think, an 8-0 run to end the half, an 8-0 run to start the half. Almost all those shots were dunks and layups, and you guys had, I think, 4 turnovers and 5 misses. What do you think happened in that stretch? That's kind of where they took control.
Yeah, I thought they attacked the rim. They did a great job in paint points the entire game. 52 points in the paint. We didn't guard the paint like you need to against a really good, talented team, a team that's ranked, a team that's got a chance to play in Sweet 16s or Elite 8s or Final Fours. That's how good they are. That's how connected they are. That's how well coached they are.
Matt, I feel like that he could have said that exact same response several times this season. I know we immediately our first thing to jump to is to blame the post guys in the front court. But when you're not staying in front of the ball, like you talked about tonight, it doesn't matter how good your post player is. A lot of times you're going to get beat, and that was the consistent theme of this team. It was the ball penetration and either great interior passing by the opposing guards, or the guys would get flush rebounds and offense like we saw tonight with the 50-plus points in the paint.
South Carolina's team offense is just as good as any team in the SEC. I mean, they share the ball. They move without the ball. They move for one another. They pass the ball with purpose. Mm-hmm. Their team offense is sharp. I mean, you got to be connected, and it starts with their defense. You look how connected they are on defense, and then you think you look at Arkansas and the mess we are. You think, well, we got a long ways to go.
18 assists for South Carolina tonight. Offensively, they are together. They have some talented players, talented college players. I would guess that Colin Murray-Boyles has a future playing professional basketball, but you don't know how many of the other guys will be doing that. But that sometimes happens in college basketball. You get a good mix, you get a good batch, and it turns out solid, which is exactly what it's happened for South Carolina, who gets Auburn tomorrow at about the same time Arkansas took on the Gamecocks today. All right, we're going to take one more break. One more segment of Hog Reaction coming up as we wrap up the basketball season next.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. For all your outdoor gear, think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Drive a third-row SUV that is style in motion with the 2023 Buick Enclave at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get $1,250 in total savings or 2.9% financing on a 23 Buick Enclave. The 23 Buick Enclave, designed for the road ahead and well-crafted for your refined taste. Test drive a new Buick Enclave and experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is Hog Reaction.
Underneath Mitchell, Ellis is open in the corner, three-pointer good.
Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, and by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education.
Gentlemen, for one final time, we return here on Hog Reaction, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, our brand new Hit That Line Now app, which if you haven't downloaded, we actually just introduced it to our friend Bruce Stanton with Pradco Fishing the other day. He likes it, as a lot of people that have tried it out. It's easy, it's quick, it's simple. iTunes, Google Play, just download it. And I promise that's the only way you'll listen from now on. Guys, it's been a fun year of doing this, at least. Not so much the basketball team. I mean, you had the Duke game, you had the Purdue game, you had the Texas A&M shot that Tremont Mark hit. Any other memories, any other moments from this season as we wrap it up here on the final show?
What was the 8 technical fouls Coach Muss had? That's a good number right there. That's he was fired up. He wasn't leaving this game without getting in the books. You knew that was going on when we were down 12-14. You knew what was going down.
Yeah, when Arkansas's losing big and considerably, and when there's no chance to win, there's a good chance that Eric Musselman gets a technical, which we've gotten some people that have said that is done. Tyler Greenwood texting on the McCarty Daniel hotline saying, thank God we're done with this season. I can't use the word that Tyler described this season. He's sick of us, tired of talking about losses. Well, we'll have to talk about it tomorrow on all 3 shows. We'll also talk baseball. We'll also talk about players. I've got some a Friday night football topic that I want to get into that I think it might have some more legs to it than maybe initially from the jump. But Big C, Matt mentioned the technicals. What are your final thoughts on this season, how it played out?
I guess you can only, I mean, this is sad to say, but maybe the Purdue exhibition or the Duke win. And then even the Vanderbilt win yesterday was maybe one of the best moments of the season. But I look back at the last 3 seasons, we've had a lot of great moments. If you've got 3 seasons like we had the 3 years prior, and we have a bad, or I guess a slightly below average season, you'll take that. But I think this fan base is just hungry for winning every season, and as they should be. We've had 3 great seasons, and it just so happened to not work out this year. But next year, I don't want to say it can't get any worse, but I just don't see the same thing happening next year. I don't see it.
Christian, you bring up an awesome point. I would not trade the last 3 seasons for a good season this year. If they had like mediocre seasons the last 4 years, but they made it to the NCAA tournament each time, but they only made it to like the round of 32, or they made the tournament, I'm not trading that. They went Sweet 16 last year and then 2 Elite Eights. We have not done that in 20 plus years. 1996, prior to 2021, was the last time that this program had made a Sweet 16. And I'm not, listen, Muss is at fault for a lot of this year. This is not, hey, let's point the blame somewhere else. Let's be okay with this season. I'm not okay. They need to fix this. He's making too much money. You're investing too much in this basketball program. This is too good of a institution from the bottom to the top in terms of just the structure of that program to have a season like this. They need to get it fixed. Kentucky did. Auburn did. Now it's Arkansas.
I was just going to say, I don't really want to use Coach Cal as an example, but that's what comes to mind. Didn't he have like a season where they didn't even make the NIT not too long ago? And
they made the NIT and lost to Robert Morris, but they didn't make the NCAA tournament back in 2021 is probably the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, and that's not normal for Kentucky. I know there's some things going on that was kind of in the middle of COVID, but it happens. It happens to the best programs even. But obviously the fans, it's never easy to go through a season like this. It's not fun at all. I know there was moments last year in the regular season where we thought, oh my gosh, it can't get any worse than this. And they ended up making a run. This year it didn't happen. Next year, I'm hopeful for next year. I'm not dreading next year simply because I know Muss can coach.
No one's dreading next year. And if you are, you're just being pessimistic. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they are a lock with the NCAA tournament, but they are a team and a program. And again, I don't know every bit of background knowledge with the NIL. That is something that we've touched on a little bit tonight. But this is a program that should be able to get back on its feet relatively quickly based on the in-state talent, which we need to discuss. And this is going to be a talking point on the Morning Rush tomorrow. We can't overlook the in-state talent in this state. You're letting Anor Boateng go elsewhere. We'll see what happens with Terrion Burgess, who's the young man from Memphis. You've got some other talented. J.J. Andrews is coming up in 2026. I mean, this state's full of it, and I don't know if Eric Musselman just has a bad view of it now after what happened with Nick Smith and Devo. Again, this is just speculation, but I hope that he does not. When it comes to the in-state kids, he does not push them by the wayside, because this basketball program, this football program, and this baseball program have always had the most success when they have prominent in-state kids and the occasional walk-on. Matt, you played with plenty of guys that might not be the highest highly thought of coming out of high school, but they love them Hogs and they could play a little ball back in the day.
Yeah, Bill, let's put a fence up around this state. Coach Nutt was one of the best at getting in-state guys. Coach Richardson was too. There's value in getting in-state guys, no question about it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. And again, we appreciate you all tuning in via Facebook, via X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and our Hit That Line app. For Big C, for Matt Jones, and everyone else listening, it has been an interesting season, nevertheless. And it's going to continue with the speculation that will follow on players, coaches, head coach. I know we're going to get a lot of text and everything else about it. Guys, appreciate the time tonight, and I guess we'll do it again tomorrow on 3 separate shows.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 2.